Hello, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. Sit down, please. I'd like to speak English today too, to improve my speaking skill. Let's get it started. Today, it is August 9th, 2022. It's on Tuesday today. It's sunny outside. I will let you go out on the condition that you finish the homework by 5 o'clock p.m. I will let you go out on the condition that you finish your homework by 12 o'clock. I will let you go outside on the condition that you finish your homework by 3 o'clock p.m. Otherwise, I will keep you studying. I can lend you my notebook on the condition that you bring it back to me by today. I can lend you my notebook under the condition that you return it to me by tonight. I refrain from going outside on the ground that the number of infections are increasing. I will let you go out on the condition that you finish your homework by 5 o'clock p.m. I will buy you PlayStation 2 on the condition that you get the perfect score on the next examination. I will buy you PlayStation 3 on the condition that you get the perfect score on the next examination. I will buy you a box of chocolate under the condition that you play the piece without any mistakes. I will buy you a box of chocolate under the condition that you play the piece by the piano without any mistake. On the condition that I rented the DVD on the condition that I had to bring it back within a week. I rented the DVD from the rental shop on the condition that I had to bring it back to the rental shop within a week. Otherwise, I had to pay the extra. My condition today is normal. Not so good, not so bad, normal. Could you tell us the condition where you are living now? Could you tell us the condition in which you are living now? Could you tell us the condition there now? Our condition will be better with regular exercise and healthy food, healthy eating style, healthy eating lifestyle. On the condition that, under the condition that, on the condition that, under the condition that, on the condition that, on the condition that, on condition, on the condition, on condition that, under the condition that, under condition that, under condition, on the condition that, under the condition that. The company contracted with the employee on the condition that he would work only 1 year as a temporary worker. The company contracted with the employee on the condition that he would work as a temporary worker for a year. I will buy you a box of chocolate on the condition that you play the piece without any mistakes. On the condition that, under the condition that, on the condition that, on the condition that, on the condition that, under the condition that. I will lend you my notebook on the condition that you bring it back to me by tonight. My parents bought me the video game on the condition that I will play it only within 1 hour daily. My parents bought me the video game on the condition that I will not play it more than 1 hour. My parents bought me the video game on the condition that I will not play it more than 1 hour. Cheap prices are always conditional. Cheap prices are always conditional, so we have to be careful. Additional fees will be added to the cheap prices, so we have to be careful. Because Cheap prices are always conditional. Cheap prices are always, often, frequently conditional. The discount prices are conditional. Not many people can get the discount prices. The discount prices are conditional. The discount prices are conditional. Not everyone can get the discount prices, so please be careful. Please do not get surprised if you cannot get the discount prices at the cashier. Under the condition that, under the condition that, under the condition that, under the condition that. On the condition that, on the condition that, under the condition that. I accepted the job on the condition that I could only do what I like. I accept the offer. I accept that offer on the condition that I could do only what I like. I took on the job offer on the condition that I could do only what I like. I accepted the offer. I accepted the offer. I accepted the offer. I accepted the offer. I undertook the offer. I undertook the offer on the condition that I could do what I only what I like. Cheap prices are often conditional, so please be careful. The discount prices are conditional. If you do not meet the requirements, you cannot get a discount. The discount prices are available, applied to only those who meet the requirements. The cheap prices are conditional. The cheap prices, the discount prices, do not apply to everyone. The prices are applied to only those who meet the requirements. Conditional. Is the cheap price conditional? Is the free meal 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 conditional? Is it conditional? Is the cheap price conditional? Is the cheap price conditional? I cannot live without air conditioner. I cannot live without air conditioner. I cannot live without air conditioner in summer. I cannot live without air conditioner in summer. I cannot live without air conditioner in summer. Do you use a hair conditioner? I used to use a hair conditioner, but not now. Do you use a hair conditioner? 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 Is there something conditioner to adjust the temperature in this room? Like air conditioner or a fan or anything like that? Is there anything conditioner to adjust the temperature in this room, such as air conditioner, fan, and so on? Conditioner. Do you have an air conditioner? Do you use a hair conditioner? Is there a machine such like humidity conditioner? Is there humidity conditioner out there? Is there humidity conditioner? Is there a humidity conditioner? Is there a humidiator? Is there humidity conditioner? Is there humidity conditioner? Conditioner. 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 Do you use a hair conditioner? Do you use a hair conditioner? I cannot live without air conditioner in summer. I cannot live without air conditioner in summer. I'd like to have a word with you privately concerning the matter. I'd like to have a word with you privately concerning the matter. I'd like to have a word with you privately concerning the matter. Concerning the weather condition, the sports meeting will be postponed or cancelled or called off. The news concerned me. The news concerned me. The bad news concerned me. The accident must have concerned the executives of the company too. The bad news concerned me. The bad news concerned me. The accident must concern the man. The accident must have concerned the man. The fraudulent scheme must have concerned the executives. More and more executives must have been concerned with the fraud. More and more people must have been concerned with the fraud. Fraud scheme, fraud scheme, fraud scheme. The bad news concerned me. 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 The festival concerned the religion. The festival is concerned with Shinto ritual. The festivals are concerned Many festivals are concerned with Shinto rituals to pray for good harvest. There are many factors concerning me. There are many factors concerning me. I'd like to reduce the number of factors concerning me. I want to reduce the number of factors concerning me. I'd like to reduce the number of factors concerning me. I'd like to reduce the number of factors concerning me. The bad news concerned me. The bad news concerned me. The creation of typhoon concerned many citizens living near the coastline. The creation of the typhoon concerned many people. The creation of typhoon concerned me. The creation of typhoon concerned me. The messages were sent to those whom it may concern. The messages were sent to whom it may concern. The messages were sent to those. The messages were sent to whom it may concern. To whom it may concern. To whom it may concern. The message was sent to whom it may concern. 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 Stop concerning me. I saw many books concerning economics. I saw many books concerning psychology in his room. I'm concerned for my life. I'm concerned about my life. Many people are concerned about their lives. Many people are concerned for their lives. Are you concerned with the accident? I'm sure he must be concerned with the accident. I'm sure he is concerned with the fraud. Are you concerned with the project? 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 The message was sent to whom it may concern. There are many concerns about the accident. There are many concerns about the trip. And since I had many concerns for the trip beyond the prefecture during the pandemic, so I cancelled it. Are you concerned for your life? Are you concerned about your life? Are you concerned with the project? Are you concerned with the project? Have you ever been concerned with tourism industry? Have you ever been concerned with tourism industry? Have you ever been concerned with tourism industry? Have you ever engaged in tourism industry? There are some concerns for the foreign travelers now. There are many concerns about the foreign travelers now. Entering the university with 3 months of study will be severe concerning your current knowledge. Passing the examination with the 3-month study from now will be severe, very severe, given the current your knowledge level. The club activity was so severe. I had to endure, withstand, put up with hard training. My injury was severe at that time, but it was cured in 1 week. The hotness last week was so severe. It was almost dangerous. It was even dangerous. The hotness last week was severe. The examiners today are so severe. The examiners in my generation was so severe to check our points, scores. The examiners judged our speaking examinations last year were so severe. The scores were scored severely. The examinations were assessed, evaluated, valued, rated severely. The tests are scored severely. The tests are severely scored. The tests were severely scored. The tests were severely scored. I got injured severely yesterday, but it was almost cured thanks to the treatment from the doctor. I got wounded severely by tripping over by the stone, but the wounds was almost cured by the treatment. Those drivers speeding beyond the limitation should be punished severely. I was punished severely because I did not bring the homework and I did not study at all at school. I was scolded severely by the teacher. I was scolded by the common teacher severely because I never studied at all. I never studied at class. The examinations were severely scored. The security men are looking around severely in order to keep the peace, keep the safety around the shop entrance. The security man is severely looking, is on patrol, on alert, at the entrance of the store. The security men are on alert at the entrance of the bank. I got injured severely. I was punished severely. I was scolded by the common teacher severely. The club members were trained severely by the coach. We were trained severely at the club activity. We were trained severely at the training. We were trained severely at the training, so we have much muscle. We were trained severely. We were trained severely at the club activity and the summer intense training. We were trained severely at the hard intensive training. Severity. The security men were on alert with severity. The police officers were patrolling around the town with severity. Severity, 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 severity. The severity of the training was the hardest ever I have ever experienced. No other hard training is as hard as the severity of my training, which I experienced when I was a junior high school student. No other training is as hard as that I experienced when I was a junior high school student. No other training is as hard as that I experienced when I was a junior high school student. Severity. Severity can be the affection toward others. Severity can be affection toward others. Some children will be brought up with severity. Some children will be brought up with severity. Some children will be brought up, raised up with severity. The security men was with severity at the entrance to keep the safety. The security men were standing at the entrance with severity. The security men were standing there at the entrance with severity. The security men were standing there at the entrance of the bank with severity. Severity. The security men were standing still in front of the entrance of the bank with severity. The security men were standing still at the entrance of the bank with severity. Severity. The severity of my injury was beyond description. The severity of the situation was beyond description. The severity of the situation after the typhoon passed was beyond description. The severity of the hard training was beyond description. The severity of the hard training I experienced when I was a junior high school student was so tough. I really never experienced such hard training ever in my life, in the course of my life, in the process of my life. Severity. The security men were standing still at the entrance of the bank with severity. I'm going to resign. I made up my mind to resign, to pursue my dreams. I am determined to resign. To pursue my dreams. My coworker resigned his position last year. My previous coworker resigned his position last year. What made you resign the company? What made you resign the company? I resigned about 9 years ago. I resigned the company about 9 years ago. Half of the employees say they want to resign. Half of the employees of the company say they want to resign. Half of the employees of the company say they regret resigning the company. 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 They regret having resigned the company. They regret having resigned the company. Have you submitted the resignation letter to the company? Resignation letter to the company. Have you submitted the resignation letter to the company? Have you already submitted the resignation letter to the company? Resignation. Have you ever submitted the resignation letter to the company? Have you already submitted, handed in, turned in resignation letter to your boss? Have you already submitted the resignation letter? Submitted the resignation letter to the company? Have you already submitted the resignation letter to the company? The resignation rate is high in that company. Some companies have the large resignation rate. Did you take on the task voluntarily or unwillingly? Did you take on the task voluntarily or unwillingly? Did you take on the task voluntarily or hesitantly? Did you take on the job voluntarily or hesitantly, unwillingly? Voluntarily. Not many people will clean toilets voluntarily. Not many people will clean toilets voluntarily. Do you do anything voluntarily? Do you do anything voluntarily? Do you try to do anything voluntarily? Do you try to do anything voluntarily? Do you try to do everything voluntarily? Voluntarily. 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 Do you try to do anything, everything voluntarily? Voluntarily. 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 I resigned. Voluntarily. 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 I resigned the company. Voluntarily. 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 The president reject getting the salary voluntarily. He donated 1 million yen to the city hall voluntarily. The detectives are checking if the accident was caused voluntarily or by accident. Was it voluntary? Was it voluntary? The criminal's voluntary action cannot be tolerated, cannot be accepted, cannot be acceptable. The man's voluntary theft cannot be tolerated, cannot be allowed, cannot be acceptable. Voluntary, 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 voluntary. Voluntary, voluntary, voluntary. Voluntary, 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 voluntary. Voluntary, 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 voluntary. Was it voluntary? Was it your voluntary spirit? Was it your voluntary spirit? Voluntary, 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 voluntary. Was it voluntary? Voluntary. Was the decision voluntary? Your voluntary cleaning was repeated well. Your voluntary cleaning on the floor is repeated well. I hope everyone has such voluntary spirit. I hope everybody has such voluntary spirit. Voluntary, 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 voluntary. Everyone reputates your voluntary spirits well. Everybody reputates your voluntary spirits. your voluntary spirit. Everybody repeats. Everybody repeats your voluntary spirit. Everybody repeats your voluntary spirit. Spirit. Everybody, everyone repeats your voluntary spirit. Have you ever worked as a volunteer? Have you ever worked as a volunteer? As soon as the position was released on the home page, more and more people volunteered to apply. More and more people, candidates, volunteer to want to work for at the position. As soon as the position was put on the home page, many candidates volunteer to work for the position, work for the company. As soon as the position was put on the website, many candidates volunteered to work at the position. The human resources is looking for candidates who are willing to clean toilets, who volunteer to clean toilets. Have you ever engaged in volunteer activity? Have you ever engaged in volunteer activity? Have you ever engaged in volunteer activity? Have you ever worked as a volunteer? As soon as the cleaning project was put on the homepage, many citizens living in the town volunteered to clean the floor, clean the road for the city. Many people volunteered to clean the road. Many people volunteered to clean the city. Many people volunteered to clean the city. Many people volunteered to clean the city. Many people volunteer to clean the city. Many people volunteer to clean the city. As soon as the cleaning project was put on the home page, many people volunteered to clean the street. As soon as the cleaning project was put on the home page, many people volunteered to clean the street. Many people volunteered. Many people volunteered. Many people volunteered to clean the street for the city. Many people volunteered to clean the street after the party. Many people volunteered to clean the street. The rich person volunteered to donate 1 billion yen to the disaster-stricken area. The rich man volunteered to donate 1,100 yen to the city hall. The rich man volunteered to donate 10 million yen to the city hall. The man volunteered. Many people volunteered. Many people volunteered. Many people volunteered to clean the street. 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 Many people volunteer to clean the street. Many people volunteer to clean the street. As soon as the positions were put on the homepage of the company, many people volunteered to work at the positions. Many people, candidates, volunteered to work at the positions. Can you volunteer to do anything? 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 Can you volunteer to clean the toilets? Can you volunteer to work overtime? Can you volunteer to work overtime? Can you volunteer to work Saturdays and Sundays? Can you volunteer to work Saturdays and Sundays? Can you volunteer to work Saturdays and Sundays? Not many people volunteer to clean toilets. Not many people volunteer to clean toilets. The rich man volunteered to donate 10,000 million yen to the city hall. The rich man volunteered to donate 10 million yen to the city hall. The rich man volunteered to donate 10 million yen to the city hall. Not every employee will volunteer to do anything. Not many employees will volunteer to do anything. Not many employees will volunteer to do anything. The rich man volunteered to donate 10 million yen to the city hall. The rich person volunteered to donate 10 million yen to the city hall. Many people volunteered to clean the street after the party. Many people volunteered to clean the street after the typhoon. Many people volunteered to clean the street after typhoon. Many people volunteered to clean the street after typhoon. Many people volunteered to clean the street after typhoon passed. Volunteer to do. Can you volunteer to do anything? Can you volunteer to do anything? The new employee volunteered to do anything. The new employee volunteered to do anything. Volunteer to do anything. The new employee volunteered 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 to do anything. The rich man volunteered to donate 10 million yen to the city hall. The rich man volunteered to donate 1 million yen to the prefectural office. One of the employees volunteered to clean the rooms. One of the employees volunteered to clean the rooms. One of the employees volunteered to take on the tasks, a pile of tasks, a heap of tasks. The employee volunteered to take on the tasks, undertake the tasks. The employee volunteered to take on a heap of tasks, a pile of tasks. The employee volunteered to deal with a pile of tasks. The employee volunteered to deal with a pile of tasks. The employee volunteered to deal with a pile of tasks. The employee volunteered to deal with a pile of tasks. The employee volunteered to deal with a pile of tasks. The employee volunteered to deal with a pile of tasks. Many people volunteer to clean the street after typhoon. Many people volunteer to clean the street after typhoon. Many people volunteer to want to donate some money for the reconstruction of the castle. Many people volunteer to donate some of their money for the reconstruction of the castle. Many people volunteer to donate some of their money for the reconstruction of the castle. The employee volunteered to deal with a pile of tasks which many employees hate to do. The employee volunteered to deal with a heap of tasks which every other employee hates to do. The employee volunteered to deal with a pile of tasks which many other employees hate to do. The employee volunteered to do the tasks which every other employee hates to do. The employee volunteered to deal with the tasks other employees hate to do. The employee volunteered to do the tasks, a pile of tasks, a heap of tasks, which other employees hate to do. The employee volunteered to do the tasks. The employee volunteered to clean the rooms. The employee volunteered to clean the rooms, clean the toilets. The employee volunteered to clean the rooms after everybody went home. The employee volunteered to deal with tasks. The employee volunteered to deal with a pile of tasks. The employee volunteered to deal with a pile of tasks which many other employees hate to do. The employee volunteered to deal with a pile of tasks which every other employee hates to do. The employee volunteered to deal with a pile of tasks. The employee volunteered to deal with a pile of tasks. The rich man volunteered to donate 1 million yen to the prefectural office. The employee volunteered to work overtime tonight. The employee volunteered to work overnight. The employee volunteered to work on the project until midnight today. The employee volunteered to think over the strategy to solve the problem overnight tonight. The employee volunteered to do a pile of tasks which many other employees hate to do. The employee volunteered to deal with a pile of tasks which many other employees hate to do. The employee volunteered to deal with a pile of tasks which other employees hate to do. The employee volunteered to deal with a pile of tasks which other employees hate to do. The employee volunteered to deal with a pile of tasks which other employees hate to do. As soon as the position was put on the website of the homepage, a website of the company, many candidates volunteered to work as a position. Many candidates volunteered to work on the position. After the typhoon, many people volunteered to clean the street. After the party, many people volunteered to clean the street. 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 After the castle was burned down by accident, many people volunteered to donate some of their money for the reconstruction. After the castle was burned down by accident, many people volunteered to donate some of their money for the reconstruction of the castle. After the castle was burned down by accident, many people volunteered to donate some of their money for the reconstruction of the castle. Many people volunteered to donate some of their money for the reconstruction of the castle. Crazy ideas are inclined to be dismissed at the meeting. Crazy ideas can be very important, but mostly such ideas will be dismissed at the meeting. Crazy ideas can be very important to achieve something great, like breakthroughs, but mostly such ideas will be dismissed. Such ideas are up to dismissed. Such ideas tend to be dismissed. Such ideas are inclined to be dismissed. Such ideas are up to dismiss. Such ideas are up to dismissed. Up to be dismissed. Such ideas are up to be dismissed. Such ideas inclined to be dismissed. The employee was fired for a series of negligence at work. If you don't want to be dismissed, you should work hard. The employee was dismissed because of his negligence at work for a long time. The employee was dismissed because he did not focus on his work at all, playing video games on computer. If you don't work at all, you might be dismissed. You should work hard, otherwise you might be dismissed. You should work hard, or else you might be dismissed. Unfair dismissal should be solved. Unfair dismissal should be solved. There are unfair dismissals out there which need to be solved, need solving. Need solving. There are some unfair dismissals which need solving. What do you think of the dismissal? His dismissal. What do you think of the excellent employee dismissal? Why was he dismissed? I don't know the reason why he was dismissed. He was so excellent at dealing with problems at the workplace. Unfair dismissal should be solved. Unfair dismissal should be solved. Dismissal. Unfair dismissal should be solved. There are unfair dismissals out there which need solving. There are some unfair dismissals out there which need solving, which need to be solved. So I cannot understand why he was dismissed. I want to know the reason why he was dismissed. What do you think of his dismissal? Or he might have resigned voluntarily himself. He might have voluntarily resigned. He might have resigned himself. He might have resigned voluntarily. Unfair dismissal should be solved. 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 Dismissal. 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 Unfair dismissal. Unfair dismissal should be solved. There are some unfair dismissals happening out there which need solving. My dismissal took many of the employees by surprise. Someone took hold of my hands. Someone took hold of my hands. I liked my friend taking hold of my clothes in the haunted house for fear of the ghost. I liked when my friend took hold of my clothes in the haunted house. Dismissal, 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 dismissal. Unfair dismissal should be solved. 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 Dismissal, dismissal, dismissal. There are many dismissals happening right now. There are many dismissals happening right now. At the same time, many new employees are entering. Unfair dismissals should be solved. 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 I cannot contradict or confront my boss out of fear of being dismissed, laid off, fired. I cannot confront or contradict my boss out of fear of being fired, laid off, dismissed. I studied hard out of fear of failing the examination. I studied hard out of fear of failing the examination. I studied hard out of fear of failing the examination. Out of fear of failing the examination, I studied hard. Out of fear of failing in the examination, I studied hard. I refrained from traveling abroad out of fear of being infected with the virus. I am sure many people refrained from traveling out of fear of being infected with the virus. I'm sure many people refrained from traveling abroad out of fear of being infected. I left my house 1 hour earlier out of fear of being late for the workplace for the first time. I left my house 1 hour earlier than usual, out of fear of being late for the ferry tunnel. I left my house 30 minutes earlier than usual, out of fear of being late for the workplace. I left my house 1 hour earlier than usual, out of fear of being late for the departure of the flight. Out of fear of, 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 for fear that, for fear of, just in case. I left my house 1 hour earlier than usual, in case I should late for the departure of the plane. I left my house 1 hour earlier than usual, lest I should be late for the train station, getting into the traffic jam. I left my house 1 hour earlier than usual, for fear that I might be late for the workplace. I studied so hard, out of fear of failing the examination. I studied so hard, out of fear of failing the examination. I am this kind of person who study a lot or prepare enough, out of fear of failing. I am this kind of person who prepares enough, out of fear of failing. I am this kind of person who studies or prepares enough, out of fear of failing, 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 out of fear of failing. The beauty of Kabira Bay was beyond the reach of my imagination. The beauty of Mount Fuji was beyond the reach of my imagination. I refrained from going abroad out of fear of being infected with the virus. I'd like to find it out. I'd like to find out the truth behind the scenes. Some foreign tourists come to Japan to find out hidden truths behind ninja. Some foreign tourists come to Japan to find out the truth behind ninja. The detectives visited the criminal's house, to find out more evidence. The detectives entered the house to find out hidden documents. I got down on my knees to talk with the kids at the same height. I got down on my knees to talk with the kids face to face at the same height. What are you getting down? Were you the kind of person who get down everything that the professor was explaining? Were you this kind of person who got everything down that the teacher was explaining on the board? Were you this kind of person who got down everything that the teacher explained on the board? I jot it down so that I forget it, so that I won't forget it. Please jot it down so that you won't forget it, in case you forget it, in order that you forget it. In order that you won't forget it. You should get the number down. You should get the number and address down, in case you will forget it. You should forget it. You should forget it. For fear that you should forget it. What are you getting down? Were you this kind of person who got everything down that the teacher said and explained on the board? Were you this kind of person who got everything down that the professor was explaining on the board? Were you this kind of person who got everything down that the teacher explained on the board? Were you this kind of person? Were you this kind of person who got everything down that the teacher explained on the board? Get down so that you won't get hurt. I was told to get down and hide under the desk when the earthquake happened at elementary school. We were educated to get down and hide under the firm objects such as desk when earthquake happened. And we were educated to get down and go under the desk or something very robust things, firm things, hard things, strong things, strong object, in order to avoid falling things, dropping things when the earthquake happened. We were educated to get down and hide under the desk to avoid hitting by dropping things when the earthquake happened. We were educated to get down and hide under the desk or hard objects to avoid getting hit by falling objects when the earthquake happened. I got down on my knees to talk with the kid at the same height. My kindergarten teacher got down on her knees to scold me at the same height, face to face. What are you getting down? What are you getting down? What are you getting down? Were you this kind of person who got everything down that the teachers were explaining on the board? Were you this kind of person who got everything down that explained by the professors or teachers? I saw staff members giving away pocket tissue paper at the entrance of the shop to commemorate 15th anniversary of the shop. I saw some staff members giving away pocket tissue paper at the entrance of the shop to commemorate the 15th anniversary. I saw some staff members giving away pocket tissue paper at the entrance of the shop to commemorate the 15th anniversary. Oh, good. I'd like to give away my guitar to whomever wants to get it. I'd like to give away my guitar to whoever wants to practice with it. I'd like to give away my guitar to whomever wants to practice with it. I'd like to give this guitar away to whoever wants to practice it. The rich man was giving away $100 to the passers-by, which was amazing. What are they giving out? What are they giving out? My duty today is to give out a pocket tissue at the entrance of the shop for 2 hours. I had to withstand the hotness from the sun, from the direct sunlight, but because I have to give out the pamphlet to the passers-by at the station today. When the test was given out, when the test started to be given out at the classroom, I started to feel stomachache. When the test started to be given out at the classroom, I started to feel stomachache. When the test paper started to be given out, I felt stomachache. What are they giving out? 2 sets of masks. 2 sets of masks were given out to every citizen. 2 sets of masks were given out to all citizens. 2 sets of masks. 2 masks. 2 masks were sent to every citizen. 2 masks were given out to all citizens. The important tradition, the rare distinctive tradition should be handed down from generation to generation. The festival should be passed down from generation to generation. The architectural technique, the architectural style and technique should be passed down from generation to generation. The important tradition should be handed down from generation to generation. The judge handed the verdict to the suspect. The judge handed down not guilty to the man. The judge handed down not guilty to the man. The judge handed down guilty to the man. The judge handed down guilty to the man. He was sentenced to 2 years in prison. The judge sentenced the man to 2 years in prison. The judge sentenced the man to 2 years in the prison. He was sentenced to 2 years in prison. The jewelry has been passed down from generation to generation in the family. The jewelry has been passed down. The jewelry has been handed down from generation to generation. The jewelry has been handed down from generation to generation. The jewelry has been handed down from generation to generation. The important, distinctive festival and rituals should be handed down, passed down from generation to generation. The unique culture should be handed down. The unique culture should be handed down. The architectural style should be handed down. The unique architectural style should be handed down from generation to generation. The judge handed the verdict down to the suspect. The judge handed down the not guilty to the man. The judge handed down not guilty to the man. The judge handed down the not guilty to the man. The judge handed down not guilty to the man. The city mayor handed down the cancellation of the festival to the citizens. The governor of the prefecture handed down the cancellation of the festival to the citizens. The governor handed down the cancellation of the festival to the citizens. The governor of the prefecture handed down the postponing of the festival to the citizens. The important culture, the important unique culture should be handed down from generation to generation. The unique culture, rituals, festivals should be handed down from generation to generation. The unique culture should be passed down, handed down, handed down, passed down, handed down from generation to generation. Okay, I will finish speaking here. Thank you for watching. See you next time. See you.